with Mental Health Chats, and I'm really excited because I've got Alan Clarke here, and I've done loads of work with Alan, and Alan reckons he is the fittest man in the world, don't you, Alan?
We don't. You see, we're talking about trust, aren't we? And I was trusting.
I was just about to introduce that, Alan. You've taken it from me.
I was trusting you to give me a better introduction, not build me up to something to say that I'm not that. I'm not that.
No. So Alan and I are talking about trust. Trust is a fantastic topic in building relationships. But I just want to know, first of all, before we go into the questions, Alan, how can I trust that you are going to give me really good answers?
Well, first of all, Claire, I'm glad you said trust and not guarantee. Look, of course you can trust me. Why? Because I have plenty of years on this planet. So I have lots of life as well as work experiences. And of course, the other thing is that you know me. We also know mutual people, and you approached me. So I'd like to think that there's already an element of trust there. Now, I do say that there are levels of trust, because can you trust me to keep on point? Can you trust me to say anything that's not un-PC? That's a whole new level of trust. But anyway, yes. Claire, in short, you can trust me.
Well, yeah, I know I can. And I was asking that question as a joke, and I would never have asked you if I didn't trust you.
Yes.
So everybody out there, I think, would trust you already just from listening to that. But let's tell everyone, who is Alan Clarke?
Well, I suppose if I was going down the personal route, I am a man who turned 60 in 2022. I've been married for 36 years to a woman called 𝗤𝗲𝗀, and we've just been talking about the word or the name George or Georgie. We have 3 children, 5 grandchildren. And if anyone does follow me on LinkedIn, you'll see that I sometimes use my grandchildren as clickbait. They know me as Granddad, but they also know me as Mr. Recruiter Fit. Who is Alan Clarke? I'd like to think that I'm a positive, helpful, creative individual who likes to keep in shape. Absolutely, I like to keep in shape, but for 2 reasons, really. I think longevity and quality of life. And of course, look, it's a big part of my brand, and I have to practice what I preach, Claire, because otherwise, guess what? People wouldn't trust me. And I also think that actually I don't take life too seriously. I often use humor to dissipate uncomfortable situations, whether that be in the classroom, at work, or in my personal life. But I also think that humor, for me, it also keeps people engaged. And finally, on this point, life's too short not to have fun.
I agree. And, you said so much there, and I think it's a case of, if we love what we do,
yes,
we're going to bring our best out and people are going to trust us. But I think everybody out there would probably like to know a little bit more about Recruiter Fit and what you do. What do you do?
So I suppose the name is in the title, because when people say to you that you've never met, oh, what do you do? I say, I'm a trainer. They go, oh, what, a personal trainer? I said, no. And I thought, well, okay, it's in the title, Recruiter Fit. Recruiter Fit was created because there were a lot of recruiters and business owners out there that were saying that their processes are not fit for purpose. And we like to keep physically fit, we like to keep mentally fit. So it just made sense. The brand was born out of the need of the marketplace. And that's it. I'm not going to flower it up. I'm a recruitment trainer. That's it, through and through. For the past 25 years, I've been training people in the recruitment industry, from rookie recruiter right the way through to their first foray into management and leadership. And I think at the last count, I probably trained in excess of 11,000 people across 17 different countries. And what I'm a great believer in is that recruiters need to have solid recruitment skills, because that will underpin whatever technology comes at us, and the advances in technology, because you can't always trust tech.
No, you can't. I'm petrified of tech a lot of the time. And I make a joke of it, actually. I was with a client recently and I said, come on, let's set up the tech first, because I get really nervous. And I don't get that nervous anymore. I used to, but it's just a good icebreaker. So let's, and icebreakers are great for trust, aren't they?
Yes. Well, for that rapport and easy communication. Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. So, you know, you're very passionate about the recruitment industry. And what I love about you, Alan, is that when you're working with people, you show your passion. We're talking to people from all over the world and building trust in the business world. And a lot of people who aren't in recruitment don't always understand until I say to them that recruitment is really, really tough, because you need to build relationships with both your commodities. You've got the clients and the candidates. You're not selling a product, and people can really, really let you down. So let's think about the business world here. Let's think about managers. How do you help people to build trust in what they do?
I think why it's important that people trust me and the people that I help, you know, and that could be the managers. I think first of all, trust is important because I need them to listen and I need them to believe. If my target audience believes what I say, and that I can actually do what I do, then there's an element of trust. If you have that element of trust and they hang on your every word and they believe what you're saying, that gives you credibility. Now, if they listen to you, if they believe in you, then hopefully the clients, the managers, the business owners, they're going to see the value and they're going to get the return on their investment.
Yeah.
And I think if I was, for example, doing a bit of DIY and I needed to reach a high spot, I would get a step ladder out or a ladder. Now, before I set foot on that ladder, I want to check that it's stable, that it's locked in place, and that the rungs are solid as well, because I want that ladder to get me to where I want it to be, and I want it to be stable.
Yeah.
Now, if I were to be, for example, doing some gardening and I was going to be tying a shrub back, I wouldn't use a thin piece of string, because I know that with time, with wear and tear and weather, that thin string isn't going to be enough. I need a thicker piece of twine because of the movement. So I need something that is up for the job in hand. So with the people that I work with, they need to know that I'm stable and that I'm up to the job. So if you can demonstrate those two things, that you've got the stable sort of history, background, you're up to the job, then people in business should really have no hesitation in trusting you and what it is that you can do. And that way, I think that's how you get repeat business. That's how you get referred clients, because they can refer you on to other people. People wouldn't pass your details on if they didn't trust you, if they didn't trust your judgment.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And as I said earlier, the recruitment industry is so tricky because you're dealing with two people and matching them up. So that trust is so essential. And then let's talk about any business. And I love this saying in business: people will talk to you if they like you. They will buy from you if they trust you.
Yeah.
And that is key. And if we think on the management side, you are going to get better results from your team if they really trust you.
Yeah.
So,
and I do think, and so I'm one for sort of picking up on those sort of auditory clues, and it's when you talk to people, when you talk with people, that's very different to talking at people. And I think this can sometimes be the you know, one of the big differences between a salesperson and a consultant.
Yeah.
You know, and it was 𝗁𝗵𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗀 that said, you know, we seek first to understand, so you have to listen. It has to be two-way, but you should always engage with your target audience. Be with them, be there for them, and don't just be there to just sell your particular product or service.
Definitely.
Get the engagement first of all, build that trust. Then the rest of the sales, if you like, should actually be quite easy.
Yeah, definitely. And funnily enough, whenever I've taught sales in the recruitment industry years ago, my passion, as everybody knows now, is more mental health and management. When I trained on trust and sales, I used to say, don't picture yourself as a salesperson, picture yourself as a relationship builder, and that builds that trust.
Yeah, definitely. And I think recruiters are often known as job fillers. And I say, look, you don't want to be known as a job filler. You wouldn't put that on your business card. It's not, you know, a title to be excited by. But see yourself as, yes, a relationship partner, or a trusted advisor, a recruitment partner, strategic partner. You know, you have to think about what it is that you do that will enable your clients to achieve their business goals, to enable your candidates to achieve their business goals. And they have to trust you in your judgment and your market knowledge and your advice and your processes. So for me, there's lots of different layers
of
trust, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. So you've given us a few tips, actually, Alan. So what I would like you to do now, if possible, is let's break it down. And what are your 3 top tips to build trust?
First of all, I'm going to say, Claire, that it's a tricky one to answer. And the reason for that is what I've just mentioned. There's different levels of trust. But I also think it's down to people's own individual interpretations of the word. Because let's face it, sometimes people don't even trust themselves. They don't trust themselves in certain situations. So if they don't trust themselves, how could they command trust from anybody else? And also on this point, we often ignore this sort of gut reaction that we get. We don't trust our gut reaction or our gut feeling that we get. And yet, if you understand where that comes from, for example, this gut reaction is based upon, you've got to trust your inner feelings and your inner intuition. And these feelings are based on solid facts and evidence, and yet they've been stored away just below the sort of the conscious level. And where you see this, and I don't know if people still play Trivial Pursuit, but you get asked a question on Trivial Pursuit, bang, and an answer pops in, and we spend the next couple of minutes arguing that answer out, and then we end up realizing that, I got the wrong answer. I should have trusted my gut. And so sometimes, so I think we do need to learn to trust our gut, because it's based upon experience and evidence. It's just been tucked away just below that sort of conscious level. But I also think, before I go on to the 3 tips, that trust for me is person specific. I think it's time specific. And I also think it's situation specific. And a very quick example of that is, I've got a very close friend of mine. I would have no hesitation and I would trust him implicitly with financial advice. Would I go to him for golfing or DIY advice? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. That's a good example. And by the way, if you're watching this, you know who you are. Bless him. He doesn't know the difference between a screwdriver and a hammer. But anyway, so my top tips, I think, first of all, number 1 for trust is you've got to establish some form of proof. You've got to be able to do what you say you can do. Some people might call this an elevator pitch or a testimonial. And if you've got trust, it helps to answer the question when people say, but why should I use you? And we hear this question, why should I use you? I think that's another way of somebody saying, why should I trust you? Not why should I use you, but why should I trust you? But nobody asks you that question, do you? So I think as well, do what you say you're going to do, but here's the other level to this. Do it to the highest level of standards. I think trust is easily broken when you don't deliver to the standard that you set out. Trust is broken when you don't deliver on what you said you were going to do. You know, there's enough negativity about recruiters out there. So let's not fan the flames, because negativity spreads really, really quickly. So that's the first one. I think establish some proof and deliver to the highest possible standards. And I think that the second one really is about be genuine. I think be sincere, be honest, and believe. Don't try and fool people. Don't try and trick people to get trust out of them, because, you know, trust can be broken before you've even got onto the first sort of level of trust. I think you have to believe in what you do. You've got passion about what you do with the mental health chats. I've got passion about the recruitment profession. And I think if you come across as somebody who is genuine, honest, passionate, guess what? You'll get trust.
Love that.
And I still think on this point about being honest, that means sometimes being honest almost to a fault. Sometimes you could tell your clients that actually you're unrealistic there. You're unrealistic in what you're looking for. How many recruiters are asked to go and recruit for a unicorn, you know, a purple squirrel? Or we say, actually, your processes are broken. It's actually, there's certain layers of your process that mean that you're not getting the right people. So, you know, people trust you to be honest with them. And I think that leads on to my third point, and that is about mutual. You've got to establish mutual trust, and you get that sometimes by demonstrating trusting them. I think if you not so much let your guard down, but if you say, I actually trust you, I trust your judgment, they're far more likely then to trust you. It's almost as if you need to take the lead in this.
That's a good point.
And I think, you know, if you want to go for the extreme example with the SAS, they know, the people in the SAS, that the guy to the right or the woman to the left or behind, they have their backs. They don't just trust them, they trust them with their lives.
Yeah.
And that for me is when I talk about the different layers of trust, that for me is the highest level of trust.
Highest.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yes, and of course you asked me a question right at the start about, you know, can I trust your answers? Yes, you can. But have you ever bought a CD where you get bonus tracks on the end? Yeah. Okay. So are you ready for your bonus track?
Okay, here's my bonus track.
Okay, right, okay.
I'll be the DJ.
This is what a creative person like me can do with the word trust without using ChatGPT, right? This has purely come from my head. So Claire, I thought I'd leave you and your viewers with a little rhyme, and I've called this rhyme, Everything Rhymes with Trust. Okay, here we go. Prove that you can deliver on what you've discussed. Have high standards, aim for the upper crust. Keep growing your knowledge so you do not rust. Otherwise, your business could go bust. Sometimes you'll need to blow off the dust, blow it away with a powerful gust. People having confidence in you is a must. Make your competitors jealous. Let them lust. Care and be honest. You have to be fussed. Don't leave your people feeling as if they're concussed. Ensure your products and services are robust. Do all of these things, Claire, to establish that trust. There you go.
I thought you were going to give me an acronym for the letters TRUST, and I thought that's such a trainer thing to do, but that was amazing.
Everything rhymes with trust.
Yeah. So we're not leaving on that, because I think there's a lot of people out there, Alan, who would love to get in contact with you. So where can people find you?
Well, www.recruiterfit.co.uk, obviously on LinkedIn, or you can just ping us an email. I'm easy to find. I'm not one of these people that hides their contact details. If you Google Alan Clarke Recruiter Fit or Alan Clarke Recruitment Trainer, I'll invariably pop up on the front page anyway. Whoa.
Love it.
Love it.
Thank you so much.
That's okay.
I used to trust you on that level. Now I trust you right up to the sky. So thank you very much.
I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Well, I hope your viewers enjoy it.
And everybody take care and go out and build relationships and build your trust. Yeah. Thanks and take care.
Take care, Claire. Bye.